Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
I'm Jo'Van.
And I'm Brandice.
And you're watching Closing the Gap. Somebody's got the giggles today.
Oh, goodness.
Weird.
Sorry. The behind the scenes, I was like, what is going on here?
Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Closing the Gap. We have an exciting topic today.
Is it?
Let me ask you. It is. Let me ask you a question, Brandice.
Okay.
Is honesty really the best policy? Like, come on now. Like, I feel like sometimes you got to lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you tell the truth, you got to protect people's feelings sometimes. And you know what I'm saying?
Let's see. Let me think.
And she like, you're like, no, you're fine. You're perfect. It's him. And this isn't just about relationships, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let me see. Well, listen. Yes, honesty is definitely the best policy. And here's why. Because you can tell the truth and not hurt somebody's feelings. Because how you say the truth. You can word it and like present it in a better way. Like, hey, does this dress make me look fat? Oh, yes. That's mean. However, you're like, well, I think it's not the best flattering on you. Maybe you can try this dress or whatever. Because you're not lying, but you're not like, oh, no, you look great, and having the person look.
I agree. You should be intentional. You should be mindful of how you say things.
Yes.
But I thought that was funny because I was telling Brandice about this show that just came out. It's a Love is Blind spinoff, basically. It's called The Ultimatum.
Yeah. And
one guy told this girl, she was just like, I just don't understand, like, why you're not into me. And he was like, I'm not attracted to you. And she got so mad. I'm just like, what did he say? Like, how else is he supposed to say that? He didn't even say it mean. He just, because she kept asking.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think sometimes people can still take it wrong.
And that's not on, because if they ask you a question and they want the truth, well, I think they want the truth just because they can't handle the truth or can't process what you're telling them, that's not on you. So I don't think you, as the truth teller, that's not your job to not tell the truth.
Agreed. So you are saying the truth is always the best route.
Definitely.
But it's just a matter of how you say things sometimes.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay. No, I can get that.
Always be honest, but you can just be mindful. Like that example. Like, oh, do I look fat in this dress or whatever? You can just say like, oh, it's not the best flatter. You don't have to be like, yes, because that's it. But you can get your point across, the truth away without being hurtful and mean. Because sometimes people use the truth as to be ugly and mean. Like, well, that's the truth.
Right.
So
I think some people just pride themselves and they're like, hey, I'm real. You know, and it's just
real
like,
rude.
Right. Yeah, and I had a couple of points about telling the truth.
Okay,
First
let's
of
hear.
all, lying is anti-freedom for yourself. The more you lie, the more you have to keep, buried. You know what I'm saying? I even was thinking like, is not saying anything, even though you're not lying, but you're withholding information that should be said, not the information that shouldn't be said. I'm talking about like you know what I'm saying? Okay, I don't have an example. Anyway, we're not going to harp on that. But the reason I just want to go over a few bullet points of reasons why you should always tell the truth. One, the truth will always come out in some form or fashion.
Yes.
It will. It just makes things worse for you because, well, we'll get back to that. You don't want to lose respect. When people find out they can't trust you and that you have been lying to them, you lose respect. It's one thing to do something wrong and make a mistake. It's another thing for a person to be thinking the whole time, like, I don't know if this person's being honest with me, you know?
Yeah.
It helps everybody grow because when you're honest, it's like, hey, just so you know, this is one way I'm looking at this, and other people may be looking at it that way too, So just being mindful. That means there's a bigger issue that may need attention. And usually you're lying to yourself the most when you lie. Sometimes you're trying to convince yourself that the truth isn't the truth. So you try to validate that by telling other people the lie that you're telling yourself. You know what I'm saying? But eventually you just realize you're just trying to prove it to yourself. And you know the truth.
I saw this post on Facebook yesterday. It's kind of funny that you said that. It said, a lie isn't a lie if you believe it. So, which is not true. But I thought it was funny in the fact that you were like, so, because there's a lot of people out there who like believe, I actually dated somebody like this. They believed their lies to the core, that it was just like so crazy. And I'm like, what? Like, and they will argue you down.
You know, that reminds me, I don't know if y'all remember, there was that, there was a guy, he was a black guy, and he kept pretending to be a doctor. Y'all remember him?
Yes.
And I think he really believed that he was a doctor because he kept doing it over and over again. They kept finding him, and he was posing as a doctor.
Yeah.
And they were like, dude, you don't work here. And he was like, yes, I do. You know? And so I'm like, man, he is committed.
You know? Like, yeah. No, but always be honest. Like, because the thing is, when you're lying or whatever, you have to, like you said, you have to keep up with that lie.
It takes energy to lie.
It does. You have to like, what did I say? Okay, I gotta do this, gotta do that. Oh, wait, no, I said this to this person. Like, just be honest.
Exactly.
And,
so,
yeah.
And then you always have is like, but what if it comes out on its own? Like, what am I gonna do? If you want to be in peace, do yourself a favor and tell the truth.
That part. And also, like, know what you want, so that way you're not like, because sometimes I think people don't know what they want, so that their truth or whatever is like they're trying to make themselves believe like, I want this or whatever the case may be.
In what sense? Like what like in relationships?
Yes. So for example, say what you mean when you say that's my motto in life. Really quick story. I think I shared this with you. I met someone. They said they wanted to be friends. Cool. They on the same page. However, when I treated them as a friend, they were kind of like confused. They wanted more out of the relationship. And I'm like, wait, no, this is what you said you wanted. And it was just like, I don't know if they were lying to, you know how some people put a disclaimer out there like, oh, I just want to be friends, but they wanted to eat the cake, have the cake and eat it too, basically. And I don't know if that was the case, but it was obviously a lie that they wanted more out of the relationship or the situationship or whatever. And I was like, no, you say you want to be friends? I'm treating you as such. So just, I feel like that happens to a lot of people all the time. So that's how situationships and the complications happen, because people are not honest on what they want, and they're not, like I said, they don't know what they want. So it's like they making things more complicated than it has to be.
Right. And I think, you know, like, guys, stop lying to get what you want, because it's like, if you think about it, like, we can use the whole bad boy example. What's the
feature?
What is the thing that one of the things that make bad boys attractive? It's because they don't care what other people think. That means they will be honest because they don't care how you feel. You know what I'm saying? They're just like, this is me. And that's attractive because you know that's what you're getting. Mm-hmm. And you know that you're getting truth. But like sometimes with like nice people in general, they're just like, oh, like I care about too much about how you feel. But ultimately that hurts you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, do your best to be honest and know that you're really, you know, be mindful of how you say it. But think about, like, do you want to help them like move forward, or do you want to hold them back with lies?
And I think it's with honesty with that regular relationship real quick. If you're honest from the get-go, you might get what you're looking for. Exactly. You're thinking like, oh, this is what they want to hear. Like, oh, I'm going to do this and whatever. But these are all lies. But if the thing is, you might get what you are looking for. But guess what? If you don't, they will respect you on the long run, as opposed to like, oh, you lied to me, you presented yourself in this way. It's just like, just be straight up and be honest. If this is what you want, you might find somebody who's like, hey, that's what I'm looking for too.
Right.
Whatever that it may be. And so my thing is just be honest and say like exactly what you want. Or
Facts.
Yeah, that is like one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, just be honest, people. Just be honest.
Yeah, people, I think it's just a habit. I don't know if it's like people were groomed in a way early on just to be, I don't know. I really don't know why people.
I think sometimes it's out of fear, like because you don't want to hurt their feelings, or your fear for how they will perceive you.
That is such a great point, because it takes courage to tell the truth. Because that means you almost have to, that can put you into some confrontational situations.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And you're just like, I don't want a negative reaction, so let me just say what they want to hear.
Yes.
And honestly, that is just not the way to live.
Yeah,
it's tough, but it's not good for anybody.
You have to stand in your truth. Like, if that's what you believe, that's whatever, stand in that. You might, I mean, sometimes you might be standing alone, but guess what? Your truth to yourself, you're not because sometimes when you put yourself in those boxes of, oh, I'm going to say it, they are going to perceive you this way. And so now you're trying to mold and fix yourself to keep up with that perception. And that's just hard on yourself. So why not just live a free life and just speak your truth and just be who you are and honest?
Agreed. And the Bible says it best. I mean, John 8:32, one of the most recognizable verses for me in the Bible is, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And I feel like people don't really like grasp like how powerful that is. It's not just like if you do something wrong, tell the truth so it doesn't catch up with you. It's like, nah, be truthful with the people you love so they can flourish and they can trust you and have respect for you. It's much more it's not as, it's a huge thing, basically.
And like you said with that scripture, when it sets you free, you're not bound by the lie, because like you said already,
that's what it is.
The lies are going to bound you up, and you're going to like you said, you're going to be like trying to cover it up, set yourself free, and just like, if you're truthful, this is who I am, this is what I believe in, whatever the case may be, you're free. You don't have to worry about putting yourself in a box or trying to impress this person or whatever. You're free. Also, there's other scriptures as well that I wanted to bring up. So Luke 6:31. I mean, it says, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you. If you want somebody to tell you the truth and be real with you, you have to be real and honest with them. I mean, that's the kind of the golden rule. People always say, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. It's like that just kind of falls into like being truthful, being honest. And then Proverbs 12:12, lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who act faithfully are his delight. So he said, I mean, if you want to be an abomination to the Lord, then that was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So
it does a lot of damage. I mean, I can see why the Bible, would call it that, because lying just does so much damage.
Yeah.
Even when you think you're lying for a good cause, it just does damage.
Yeah, and like when you lie, it breaks trust, and especially in relationships. And trust is something hard to rebuild, and especially when you can't trust anybody, you're like always going to be looking over your shoulder. So it's just never good luck, whether there's relationships, on the job, whatever. It's just in everyday life. Like you don't want to be perceived as a liar. Like you can't trust that person. So just be real and honest out here in these streets. If you know that's what you want, if you just like, oh, I'm not looking for anything in a relationship, I just want to be friends, say that. If you're looking for something serious, say that too. Don't be afraid to like say, oh, well, he's not, so I'm gonna say I'm not looking for a relationship either, so I can change, or he can change, whatever. No, you're only gonna hurt yourself in the longer run, and vice versa. So that's my last little bit. So any last bits before we close this out?
No, tell the truth. If you don't grasp anything else, tell the truth.
So what about Jack Nicholson? You can handle the truth.
Great movie. It is called A Few Good Men. Yeah. You should definitely watch it. But people can handle the truth. That's all I wanted to say. So don't believe the hype. People can handle the truth, and just say it in a nice, respectful way, and you'll be okay. So that's all. I don't know if people can handle the truth. You ever try to tell your girlfriend or your male friend that person's not good for them? Listen, how they receive the truth is on them. They have to process. Sometimes people have to do process, but you still, that does not negate the fact you need to be truthful and speak it in a very respectful fight. That's all. Right. I tell one of my friends this all the time, because he's always, I'm real, and I'm like, yeah, but you can be respectful. I say you can say it, but don't be rude or nasty. It's how you say things. I have a problem with that. My mom tells me that all the time. I'll be like, they reacted this way. She's like, well, how'd you say it? And I'll be like, never mind. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But I'm working on that. But guys, that's time for us. Thank you for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yes. I mean, if you like to see these lovely faces on a weekly basis, go ahead and subscribe so you can get a reminder. You won't forget. Exactly. Well, maybe you don't want. I mean, Jo'Van looked at me like, I don't know. Like, well, you want to see my lovely face every week? Like and subscribe. There you go. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see you next week. Whoop, whoop.